Okay, so you sent over some really fascinating stuff, actually, about getting these local businesses ranked high on Google.
Mm-hmm.
And um, it seems like the big focus here is all about, like, snagging those green pins that we see
Right.
on Google Maps.
Absolutely.
The ones that put you right at the top when
Yeah.
somebody's searching for a service
Oh, sure.
nearby.
Yeah.
This example that you sent me focuses on animal control,
Right.
which is a business, I think, where people really need to find help fast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, visibility is key for any local business.
Yeah.
Especially, in an emergency situation like that, when you got a raccoon in your attic,
Yeah.
you're not going to be scrolling through pages of search results.
Right.
You want that nearest solution right away.
Exactly.
Those green pins are like a beacon,
Hmm.
guiding them right to it.
Yeah, and I think what's so cool about this is that this strategy can work for almost any local business.
Absolutely.
Um, the first concept that really caught my eye here is
Right.
dynamic proximity-based interlinking. It sounds kind of complicated,
Yeah.
but when you actually break it down,
It's pretty clever.
yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So essentially what it is like your location pages will link to each other,
Right.
but they do it strategically
Exactly.
based on both the user's location
Yep.
and what they clicked on.
Exactly. So it's kind of like this web that changes shape
Oh,
depending on who's walking through it, always leading them to the most relevant information nearby.
so like if I'm on, say, an animal control website and I'm looking at their page for services in Avondale,
Right.
I would see different links
Yep.
than somebody browsing from Hermosa.
Exactly. The Avondale user might see links to nearby neighborhoods like Hermosa and Belmont Gardens, but only for pages that also offer their same services.
Got it.
So Google sees these tightly woven location-specific links
Right.
and recognizes that those pages are highly relevant to searches in those areas.
So it's not just random linking, it's
Yeah.
strategic.
It's very intentional.
And it signals to Google that those pages are the best answers for people searching in those specific neighborhoods.
For sure.
Now, I did see in the materials you sent over, it did mention something about GPT tools
Right.
for this. Are those necessary?
They can be really helpful, especially for managing a large site,
Yeah.
but they're just the means to an end, The
Mm.
key takeaway here is that underlying strategy
Right.
of building these dynamic location-based links.
Got it.
That's what enhances both your relevance to Google
Yeah.
and the user experience.
The strategy is what matters most.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next tactic here is
Okay.
hyperlocal keyword cannibalization management.
Right.
Now, that sounds a little
It's a
intimidating.
mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
But the concept is simple.
Okay.
You know how sometimes businesses accidentally compete against themselves online?
Oh, yeah.
Like they have multiple pages targeting the same general keywords?
Right.
So it's unclear to Google which page should rank higher.
Right. It's like having all your salespeople pitching the same product to the same customer.
Exactly. It's just confusing.
Yes. Just a lot of mixed messages.
Yeah.
This strategy assigns unique keyword clusters to each location page.
Oh, okay.
So instead of both the Avondale and Hermosa pages trying to rank for just general animal control,
Right.
Avondale might focus on squirrel control and raccoon removal,
Mm-hmm.
while Hermosa targets rat extermination and bird control.
So each location page has like its own specialty.
Exactly.
And that helps Google understand which page is the most relevant for each search.
For sure.
It seems like this would also make those dynamic links we were talking about even more powerful.
Yeah.
Like somebody clicking on squirrel control in Avondale
Yeah.
is probably interested in the squirrel control links
Right.
for those nearby neighborhoods.
Exactly. You got it. Those distinct keywords help guide users to pages that are hyper-relevant to their initial search and their location.
And this is where I think that GMB Crush Black Friday offer could come in handy.
Oh, absolutely. This might be a way for our listeners to take advantage of some tools
For sure.
that could help put these strategies into action.
Yeah, especially when it comes to managing these very specific keyword clusters.
Right.
For each location, a tool designed for local SEO could really save a lot of time and effort.
Okay, so we'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But the next tactic, this one's called CTR manipulation for fast results.
Okay.
And I got to admit, that sounds a little bit sneaky.
It might sound that way,
Yeah.
but it's really just about understanding how Google's algorithms work
Okay.
and using that knowledge to your advantage.
I
It's
see.
not about tricking Google.
Right.
It's about sending them the right signals.
Okay. I'm intrigued. So what are these signals and how do we manipulate them?
Well, the key signal here is CTR, or click-through rate.
Okay.
A high CTR tells Google that your page is what searchers actually want.
Right.
They see it in the results, they click on it.
Hmm.
And what does Google do with pages it deems valuable?
Gives them higher rankings.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this strategy is all about funneling people to the most relevant location page,
Right?
boosting its CTR,
Yeah.
and essentially fast-tracking its way up the rankings.
So how do they funnel people to the right pages?
Well, there's two main methods.
Okay.
First, they use GMB events.
Oh.
Think free inspections or workshops targeted to specific neighborhoods.
Okay.
Let's say they create a GMB event called Free Raccoon Inspection in Avondale.
Okay.
So when people in that area search for raccoon removal, they see that event,
Right.
and they're more likely to click,
Right.
driving traffic to that Avondale location page.
That's clever.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. What's the second method?
Geo-modified PPC ads.
Okay.
So these are online ads that specifically target people searching for keywords in certain locations.
Right.
So someone in Hermosa searching for rat control might see an ad for this company that specifically mentions rat control in Hermosa,
Okay.
leading them to the correct location page.
So by using targeted events and ads, they're basically ensuring that the right people
Yes,
are clicking on the right location pages,
for sure.
and that high CTR is telling Google, hey, this page is good.
Yep.
And boosting their rankings.
Exactly. It's about sending those signals and letting Google do what it does best.
Yeah.
Which is reward relevant content.
I'm starting to see how all of these tactics kind of work together here.
They do. They all play together.
Now, this definitely seems like something that would benefit from the right tools.
You're right, especially when it comes to managing GMB events and geo-modified ads. There's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
This might be another area where that GMB Crush Black Friday offer could be beneficial.
Okay.
Tools specifically designed for local SEO can really streamline these processes and help you stay organized.
Great point. We'll have to see what that offer is all about.
Definitely.
But for now, let's move on to the next tactic in our deep dive.
Okay. Sounds good.
This one focuses on the power of reviews. We all know those are important.
Absolutely.
But I'm guessing this goes beyond just getting a bunch of 5-star ratings.
You're exactly right. This is about a hyperlocal reviews strategy.
Okay.
It's about leveraging location-specific reviews to show Google and potential customers that you're a relevant presence in those neighborhoods.
So it's not just about quantity. It's about
quality.
Quality and relevance.
And relevance, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you actually get those hyperlocal reviews?
Right. Well, the source material highlights two main tactics.
Okay.
First, encouraging customers to mention specific neighborhoods by name in their reviews.
Okay.
So instead of just saying great service, they might say great service at their Avondale location.
So those few extra words really make a difference.
They do. Those mentions act like little flags, signaling to Google that this business is actively operating in that specific neighborhood and that customers are happy with their service there.
Got it.
It reinforces their presence in that location.
It's like each review is a vote for that business in that specific area.
Exactly.
The more votes, the higher they climb in those local search results.
Absolutely.
What's the second tactic?
Encouraging customers to leave reviews while they're actually still in the service area.
Oh, right. Because we talked about how Google can tell where a review was written from.
It can.
That seems pretty advanced.
It is, but it makes sense. Google wants to provide the most accurate and trustworthy information, and a review from someone physically at the location holds more weight than one written from miles away.
Yeah, definitely think about it. Like if you're looking for a restaurant, a review from somebody who just finished their meal there is probably more reliable than somebody who ate there 6 months ago.
Right. It's like a live report versus a pre-recorded one.
Yeah.
Definitely more impactful.
But how do you actually get customers to leave these location-specific reviews?
Right.
Do you just like come right out and ask?
It's all about finding that sweet spot between being proactive and being respectful.
Right.
You don't want to pressure anyone.
Of course.
But you can definitely nudge them in the right direction.
Yeah.
For example, when you're wrapping up a service, you might say, we really appreciate your business. If you have a moment, we'd love to hear about your experience.
Yeah.
And if you're leaving a review online, feel free to mention the neighborhood you're in.
Subtle but effective?
Exactly. Just plant the seed without being pushy.
You could also, I guess, make it easier for customers to leave reviews while they're still in the area.
Exactly.
So like if you have a physical location, you could have a tablet near the checkout where customers can just quickly leave a review.
Right. Or if you're a service-based business, you could send a follow-up email or text after the job with a direct link to your Google business profile.
Those are really good ideas.
Yeah.
Just make it super easy.
Make it easy for them.
For those happy customers to share their experience.
Exactly.
But what about incentivizing reviews? Is that ethical?
That's a great question, and it's important to be careful. Never offer anything in exchange for a positive review. That's considered bribery. And it can actually hurt your reputation.
Of course.
And you should never ask customers to remove negative reviews or pay them to do so.
So no quid pro quo.
No quid pro quo.
What about like a small discount or a free gift just for leaving a review? Regardless of whether it's positive or negative.
That's a bit of a gray area. Some platforms like Google don't allow incentivized reviews at all. Others might. But you have to disclose the incentive.
Got it.
So the best approach is to really check the specific guidelines of the platform you're using and err on the side of caution.
Always good advice. So what are some ethical ways to encourage reviews?
You can simply remind customers that you appreciate their feedback and show them how to leave a review. And of course, providing excellent service is the best way to get positive reviews organically. Happy customers are much more likely to leave those glowing reviews without any prompting.
It all comes back to providing a great customer experience.
Absolutely.
Now, before we move on, I have to ask. Does this GMB Crush Black Friday offer have anything to do with reviews?
It might. A lot of these local SEO tools offer features for managing and requesting reviews, so it could be worth checking out their website or waiting for their Black Friday announcement to see what they have.
Good point. That offer is starting to sound more and more enticing.
That's a good one.
But for now, let's move on to the final tactic in our deep dive. This one seems a bit more under the radar, but I have a feeling it's a hidden gem. Hyperlocal FAQs for long-tail traffic.
It is, and it's a tactic that a lot of businesses overlook. Which is a shame because it can be so effective for attracting highly targeted traffic to your website.
Can you remind us what long-tail traffic is?
Sure. So long-tail traffic refers to search queries that are longer and more specific than general keywords. So for example, instead of just searching for animal control, someone might search for how to get rid of rats in my attic in Hermosa.
So it's those detailed searches people use.
Exactly.
When they're looking for a specific solution to a specific problem.
For sure.
Got it.
And long-tail keywords are often less competitive, which makes it easier to rank higher. Plus, the people searching those terms are usually further along in the buying cycle, meaning they're closer to making a decision and becoming a customer.
So it's about attracting the right people at the right time.
Exactly.
But how do FAQs fit into all of this?
Well, this strategy is all about creating hyperlocal FAQs on your website that directly address those long-tail search queries. So, for example, on your Hermosa location page, you might have an FAQ that answers the question, what's the best way to get rid of rats in Hermosa?
So when someone searches for that very specific phrase, your FAQ has a good chance of showing up in the results.
It does.
And since it's hyperlocal and answers their exact question, they're more likely to click on it.
For sure.
And once they're on your website, they can learn more about your business and your services.
Exactly. It's like a targeted welcome mat for those highly qualified leads.
So how do we go about creating these hyperlocal FAQs? Where do we start?
Well, the first step is to really identify those long-tail keywords that are relevant to your business and your audience. You can use keyword research tools to get a sense of what people are actually searching for. Once you have a list of keywords, then you can start thinking about the questions people might ask related to those terms.
So if I'm that animal control company and I know how to get rid of rats in Hermosa is a popular search.
Exactly.
I might create an FAQ that answers that. But then also includes like related questions. What are signs of a rat infestation? How much does rat removal cost in Hermosa?
Exactly. You want to create this comprehensive resource that covers all the common questions and concerns around that specific topic.
And the more specific and hyperlocal my FAQs are, the better.
The better, absolutely.
So instead of just rat removal,
Right.
I should say rat removal in Hermosa, or even rat removal in historic Hermosa homes.
Exactly. Get granular with it.
Yeah, really get granular with it.
Yes.
Okay, so once I have my questions,
right,
then the next step is to actually, write out the answers.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Clear, concise, and informative answers.
And it's not about keyword stuffing.
No.
It's about genuinely helping people.
Absolutely. Your answers should be helpful, accurate, and easy to understand. And if you can add a little personality or humor, that's a bonus.
Make it engaging,
Right.
enjoyable to read.
For sure.
Now, the source material did mention those GPT tools we talked about earlier
Right.
can help with creating these FAQs.
They can be a huge help.
Okay.
AI-powered tools like ChatGPT can generate ideas, research topics, even draft answers for your FAQs.
Wow.
So that can save you a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
Especially if you're creating a lot of content.
It's like having a research assistant and a copywriter all rolled into one.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
But we should remember that AI is a tool, not a replacement.
Right.
For human expertise.
Exactly. Always review and edit the output from any AI tool to make sure it's accurate, relevant, and sounds like your brand.
Think of it as a first draft that you're going to polish up.
Exactly.
To make it your own.
Make it your own.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that these hyperlocal FAQs are good for SEO.
Yes.
But also for building trust with potential customers.
Right.
Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Of course. So when you create content that's genuinely valuable and informative, you're not just trying to manipulate Google's algorithm. You're becoming a resource for your community.
Yeah.
People will start to see you as the expert in your field, which builds trust and credibility.
It's about building relationships, not just trying to make a quick sale.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From dynamic interlinking to hyperlocal reviews to FAQs.
A lot of great strategies.
This whole strategy is about creating a web of relevance that Google can't ignore.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
It's about showing Google that you're the go-to business for those specific services in those specific locations.
And when you combine those tactics with tools designed to make it all easier, you're setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
And speaking of tools, I think it's time we circle back to the GMB Crush Black Friday offer that's been popping up throughout our conversation.
Right.
It sounds like this offer might be the key.
It could be.
To unlocking the full potential of this hyperlocal SEO strategy.
For sure. We've talked about how helpful the right tools can be.
Right.
For managing dynamic links, creating hyperlocal FAQs, optimizing GMB events and ads, and even managing reviews.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen in the source material,
the
GMB Crush offer seems to cover all those bases.
Plus, who doesn't love a good Black Friday deal?
I know, right?
So for our listener,
if
you're feeling inspired to take action and really boost your local SEO,
for sure,
that offer might be worth checking out.
Definitely.
We'll make sure to include a link in the show notes.
Perfect.
Because at the end of the day, knowledge is only powerful if you put it into practice.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has given you a roadmap. But the next step is to actually start the journey.
That's right.
And remember, you don't have to do everything at once.
Yeah, right.
Pick one tactic that resonates with you.
Yeah.
And start experimenting.
See what works, make adjustments, keep learning.
Exactly. The world of local SEO is constantly evolving.
It is.
But with a solid foundation and a willingness to adapt, you can stay ahead of the curve and achieve your goals.
Well said.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of hyperlocal SEO.
It's been fun.
We're confident that with these strategies and the right tools, you can truly dominate your local market and watch your business grow.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.